We are told we owe these terrorists. We owe these terrorists our money because they haven't slaughtered enough people yet and they haven't stolen enough land yet. It is indisputable. The whole point of the West Bank settler project is to steal the West Bank.
Israeli settler attacks in the West Bank have become so severe that even Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is speaking out against them. But as explained by journalist Jasper Nathaniel, those very settlers operate with impunity thanks to the actions of the Israeli government. We'll have more, but Cenk, are you surprised by this?
No, it's really heartbreaking. So it's slow motion terrorism, and what they did to Gaza, they're doing, in painstaking, smaller ways, but very consistently in the West Bank, and that's Israeli terrorism against Palestinians. And the way that the vigilantes and the government are unofficially working together is the very worst part of it. So let's give you the whole story, and then we'll talk also about whether there's anything in the world we can do, because it is Israel, so they are almighty, and no one in the American government is allowed to challenge them. By the way, including if they murder Americans, which they have in the West Bank.
So how bad is the violence in the West Bank right now? The UN Office for Humanitarian Affairs registered more than 260 settler attacks, resulting in Palestinian casualties or damage to property in October alone, the highest monthly count since they began monitoring in 2006. Of the 1,000 Palestinians killed in the West Bank since the Gaza war began, between 20 and 32 were killed by Israeli settlers. During the same period, the UN Office for Humanitarian Affairs says Palestinians killed 19 Israeli civilians. The UN also states that since October 7th, 2023, over 3,000 Palestinians in the West Bank have been forcibly displaced by settlers. It's currently olive harvest season in the West Bank. So all of this violence is happening right when it's crucial for farmers to be working. Now, the Israeli government is publicly condemning the violence. Netanyahu stated, "I view with great severity the violent disturbances in the attempt to take the law into their own hands by a small extremist group that does not represent the residents of Judea and Samaria." Netanyahu stated he would deal with the settlers personally. But notice that he cast the settler movement overall in a positive light while framing the perpetrators of violence as a small minority. That's a deliberate strategy. Israel's government has repeatedly enabled the settler movement. Last year, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz ordered a ban on administrative detention for Jewish settlers. If you're unfamiliar, administrative detention allows Israel to hold suspects for 6-month periods without charge. Israeli Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir has distributed over 100,000 weapons to Israeli civilian security squads, including squads in the West Bank. Meanwhile, the Israeli government continues to authorize settlements. And there is rarely accountability for settler violence. The Israeli human rights organization Yesh Din found that over the past 2 decades, more than 93% of police investigations into Israeli offenses against Palestinians in the West Bank were closed with no charges filed. Jasper Nathaniel, who wrote about the symbiotic relationship between the extremist settlers and the legal settlers and the state of Israel, the state and the different settler factions may quarrel over timing, optics, and methodology, but they agree on the destination. The fringe anarchists push past the map, the respectable settlers move in, then the state later incorporates the gains. Cenk, what do you think?
Yeah, so it was a terrific report. Let's put a link in the description box so you could read it. It's by the way, some really great reporters who've risked themselves to capture some of this on video and to give you all the details. And so they've been, the part that was most disturbing to me, Jordan, was the latter half of the article, where one of the biggest activists who had committed violence and is actually a terrorist, but was then of course let go because that's what Israel does. 93% of the cases that are brought when settlers do violence against Palestinians are dropped without charge. So they're like, oh yeah, violence against Palestinians, that's our official position. We do violence, we kill them, and we take their land. That's what Israel's done from day one. That's what they did in Gaza. They took 53% of it. Now they're planning to bomb, according to Dropsite News, more of Gaza and take more of Gaza. And in fact, Jonathan Pollard, we'll get into him later, traitor to America, now is far right in Israel, saying, yeah, no, the far right still believes we should kill everyone in Gaza and take their land. So the Israeli settlers are almost all terrorists. They believe their whole point there, and Netanyahu is backing it up, saying this is Judea and Samaria, this is our land. So the Palestinians are sitting on what we view to be God-given land to the Jewish people. So they're gonna go there, the settlers are, Jewish settlers from Israel, and they're gonna remove them by any means necessary. We're gonna look the other way after they do violence. And then now the violence is so out of control and caught on tape by a wonderful Jewish American reporter, right? That they're like, oh, okay, we can't ignore it anymore. Some people in America are yibber-yabbering about how we're terrorists or whatever. Okay, here, oh, we condemn them a little bit, but their way to go, Judea and Samaria, crush the Palestinians. That's Netanyahu. So look, if the shoe was on the other foot and the Palestinians were talking about using religious words for Haifa and Tel Aviv, and they're like, oh my God, from the river to the sea, these monsters. Israel does it, they're like, yeah, Judea and Samaria, that's our goddamn land. We're gonna kill them all, we're gonna take the land. And the press is like, I can't decipher what they're doing. And then they actually do it. They just keep murdering and murdering and murdering in the West Bank. By the way, 9 Americans killed. No accountability at all in just the last 3 years. The American government's like, oh, we're so sorry, Israel. We're so sorry. Kill anyone you like, kill more Americans, who cares? They're only stupid American citizens. They're not the super valuable Israeli citizens. Anyway, you get to the second half of the article and he explains, yeah, so this terrorist that was let out of prison, he writes an article saying, oh yeah, this is all a trick. And they publish it. So they're kind of rubbing our face in it. They're like, yeah, we go and first take the hills. Then the government pretends that we're naughty boys. But then we say we're in danger because we stole the land. He doesn't say stole, of course. And so we go, oh, we are, this land that we seize that is not ours, some people object because it's actually their land. Oh, we're the victims. We're the victims, right? And then IDF comes in and slaughters the Palestinians because the settlers, the illegal settlers, felt unsafe. And then we just keep playing this game over and over again until we take more hills and more hills. And then we go, well, we have so many hills, this should be an official settlement. And then the Israeli government goes, well, I guess that's just the facts on the ground, and they make it an official settlement. And we work, and he explains, we work with the government on logistics, meaning like they're meticulously planning this out together. The government pretending that they're outraged by some of these crimes is a total and utter lie. No, they love these crimes. And so they literally planned them out together. And the guy who planned it wrote an article explaining how they planned it. And so they do logistics, and he says we also have ideological gatherings with the government, and we talk about how we're gonna take this land and we're gonna take all of it, and we're gonna drive the Palestinians out, either murder them or ethnically cleanse them off the land. So look, at this point, Israel is an evil government. That's not even close. It's one of the most evil governments in the world. And so if that hurts your feelings, there's like, sorry, but like you should do something about this government that I don't know that you love the government, but if you love Israel, you shouldn't want it to have a deeply evil government that plans terrorism with a bunch of terrorists and then uses it to steal other people's land and murder them while they're doing it. No, super evil government. It just is. Anyone who says otherwise is so obviously biased. Well, what's the justification? No, it's okay, we can murder them and take their land because they're just no good, dirty Palestinians, Arabs, and Muslims? What is this? No, the Israeli government is a disgusting government right now. And the fact that we pay for these monsters, they take your hard-earned money and they give it to these terrorists to kill other people and to take their land. I can't stand it, Jordan. I can't stand it. It just shocks my conscience.
Yeah, I think this is an instance of Netanyahu just trying to save face. We know Ben Gvir would not care. In fact, he would celebrate these attacks. The guy is just a maniac. But what you're seeing when it comes to settler violence, we've seen the Biden administration sanction people. I mean, that was it was only a handful of people, and it was the most they did throughout this entire genocide. But this is the one area where you will get the AIPAC some of the pro-AIPAC, pro-Israel members of Congress speaking out. It's a line that they've drawn. It's the lowest possible bar, but you're already seeing some members of Congress call on the Trump administration to crack down on the Israeli government because of this. That's it. It's only that they don't care about the mass slaughter and genocide in Gaza. They don't care about, for the most part, expanding illegal settlements. But when it comes to violence, that's where they step in. But again, it's a low bar to clear. But that's why you might see Netanyahu at least pretend like he's upset by this.
Yeah, and by the way, the American legislators are totally lying. They've never done anything about it. And this is all a game, and the American politicians are in on it. If you don't do something about 9 Americans murdered, you're not going to do anything. There's this 16-year-old American kid from Florida. The Israelis put him in a gulag for looking at someone else throwing a stone. And kids lost 30% of his weight. He might die in that gulag. No contact with his family, because the Israelis are like, what do you mean? We don't have to follow any of the laws. No, we're not gonna follow the law for this stupid American citizen. We'll kill that American kid, and then you'll give us money to do it. And then you'll have your stupid American politicians that we bought come out and go, oh, we are concerned a tiny bit about the West Bank settlers. Ha, you don't have to do anything about it. Here's another $31 billion, which they gave them in the middle of this genocide. So what they're doing in this West Bank is, of course, disgusting and proves that Gaza had nothing to do with self-defense, because they're doing the same thing in the West Bank. Driving out the Palestinians, killing the Palestinians, taking their land. That's the whole point. It's not like they're hiding it. It's called Greater Israel. They constantly say, yes, we are going to take Judea and Samaria, that's the West Bank and Gaza Strip, and we're going to make that part of Israel, and we're going to call it Greater Israel. By the way, we're also going to take a part of Syria, we're going to take a part of Lebanon, and a lot more. And American press goes, oh, they voted on it, oh, they said it out loud. No, I'm going to cover up for Israel. I'm going to lie and pretend this is about self-defense. There's no self-defense in the West Bank, none. They're all terrorists who murder people to steal their land. Okay, so anyway, last thing is Ben Gvir and Smotrich. They're not theoretically in favor of it. They literally were these settler terrorists, and they would run around those hills, and they were like they were the fringe radicals in all this. But Israeli culture has gotten so terrible that guys like Ben Gvir and Smotrich were considered radicals, and Ben Gvir was actually convicted of aiding and abetting terrorism. He's a convicted terrorist. Now he sits in the cabinet. Both him and Smotrich go anytime, oh, you're not murdering more Palestinians. I want all Palestinians ethnically cleansed. And if you don't cleanse them like Nazis, I'm gonna leave the government, and Netanyahu, you'll have to go to elections and you lose. So they're running Israel right now. A terrorist like Ben Gvir is running Israel, and Netanyahu is no different at all. One of the worst, bloodthirsty leaders of my lifetime, and I'm forced to pay his salary. I'm forced to pay for Ben Gvir and Smotrich as they make deeply evil plans to murder innocent people and steal everything they have. And all of you out there, every single one of you that's an American citizen is forced to work longer hours and to take money out of your paychecks. And we are told we owe these terrorists. We owe these terrorists our money, because they haven't slaughtered enough people yet, and they haven't stolen enough land yet. It is indisputable. The whole point of the West Bank settler project is to steal the West Bank. If a media person tells you that's not true, they work for Israel, and they're lying to you, because it is indisputable. Okay, so how much land are we going to let Israel steal? How many people are we going to let them murder with our money before we say enough? Enough. Do not put us on this moral ground. It's too much for us to bear. I can't bear it anymore. Now you're gonna make us morally complicit with terrorism, with a rogue terrorist state like this, whose only mission has been from day one, kill Palestinians, steal their land. I can't stand it anymore. Journalists are supposed to be honest. Where? I'll tell you where. This brother, make sure you're checking him out. Drop Site News and some other outlets. And that's about it. Mainstream media in America basically completely works for Israel. They cover up all of the news. If you ask them, is it true? They'll say, well, yeah, it is true. Then why didn't you report on it? Well, it would be anti-Semitic to tell you things that are true. No, it's not anti-Semitic. This has nothing to do with Jews. It has to do with a terrorist mentality that unfortunately has totally taken over Israel. And you can tell it because they never punish them. It's not like Israel's like, oh, golly gee, those guys are so radical, but don't worry, we put them away. No, they're like, no, we let them go all the time, 93% of the time. And then they come out and they tell us about how they're gonna do more terrorism, and then we send them more money. No, Israel's a terrorist state, and it's not even close, and we're forced to fund a terrorist state. It's unbelievable because of the dirty, disgusting American politicians and disgusting American media. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.